It's been more than half a year since our last Collab Cafe compilation video, which means we are long overdue for our 6th one. Yeah, you heard me. We're already on the 6th Anime Cafe video. Yay. Please don't do the math for how many that's been, because honestly, I think it's better for my sanity that I do not know that information. And no need to worry about Wallet's well-being, because I actually have a gift for him to make up for it. What's in the box? Why, the sponsor for today's video, of course, Sakura Co. Okay. Sakura Co is a monthly Japanese artisan actually being spicy. So color me impressed. You can use my code for 5 other people to help me eat the entire menu off, or check out the link below for Sakura Co's special holiday deals. Thank you so much to Sakura Co for sponsoring this video, and now let's move on to our very first cafe. Yay! Number 1, free run at Box Cafe in Space. For this cafe, I recruited 3 other people to help me eat the entire menu because everything was super on theme. The promo art for the cafe was flower garden themed and is so hands down one of the prettiest official cafe artworks I'd ever seen. This illustration and visuals from the anime decorated the walls, and there were cardboard standees of the full body characters in their gorgeous flower formal wear. There was also adorable chibi art of the characters decorating the tables. And on display in the corner of the cafe, there was a thank you note from Tsukasa Abe with a doodle of free ren. So with our reservation, each person received a letter-shaped postcard featuring a random character. I got Stark, and Audrey gave me hers, so I got to take home both Fern and Stark. Aww. So, starting with the drinks. We ordered the Blue Moon flower drink. Oh my god, that's so pretty. Topped with cream, decorated with flowers, and served to us with a flashy smoky effect for that extra magical touch. I also ordered Aura's drink, which was a cassis and grape soda float and made to resemble Aura's head after Freeren forces her to cut it off. The third drink was the Magic of Levitating Objects, which had pumpkin-shaped gummies suspended in lots of jelly and lemonade. The concept of this drink was super cute, but the lemonade jelly was pretty much tasteless, and the pumpkin jellies had the texture of rubber when we tried chewing on them. They were basically inedible. The first dish we tried was a salad pasta inspired by the scene where Freeren...
Yeah, the tea one out of all of those looks the best to me, and like looks like the most appetizing.
Meets a young Himmel and creates a field of flowers. And for an extra magical touch, the plate had a little light underneath it to make the pasta salad glow. The second dish we tried was a cream doria with meat sauce, and this was inspired by Freeren and the gang trekking through the mountains in the winter. The staff even came by and grated cheese over the food to make it look like it was snowing. Nice! The doria consisted of rice, meat, cheese, and cream sauce. Drink yourself. That's right. And for our third dish, we ordered Waltz for Travel Money, which was a maple chicken sandwich inspired by the dance between Stark and Fern. I don't actually have any idea what a maple chicken sandwich has to do with the dance scene, but this was the most delicious dish out of the 3 that we tried. The other 2 were pretty good, but this was the clear winner. For our first dessert, we ate the Half-Century Meteor, which was a jelly dessert made with melon and kiwi and recreated the half-century meteor that our first party of heroes saw on their final adventure together. The dessert itself was fine, but more than anything, it was a very adorably sentimental dessert.
They're watching a meteor shower together!
That's cute.
The next dessert was called Lord Orden's Hospitality, which was a reference to the scene where Freeren and Fern ate a giant pile of donuts together.
That makes
sense. It came with a berry sauce, a cream cheese sauce, and a pot of tea. There was also some chocolate pudding in the middle of the donut pile.
That's cute.
While I loved the reference, these donuts were awful, and the cream cheese tasted exactly like the cream sauce used for the cream doria dish we had earlier, and the savory flavor didn't pair well with the donuts at all. And for nearly 3,000 yen, you would have probably been better off with buying a box of donuts from a Mr. Donut. This was the worst dessert out of all of them.
That's sad.
And the last dessert was a mini pastry depicting Freeren getting sandwiched in a mimic dress. This was so unbelievably cute, and we loved the presentation, but the bread was unfortunately pretty dry and didn't really taste like much. But we thought it was worth it for the presentation alone.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of
sadly the collab cafes are sometimes
even though the flavors of everything was pretty hit or miss, the 4 of us did some significant damage considering we ordered literally one of everything. The merch section had the usual file folders, acrylic stands, and keychains, and I loved the promo art so much I decided to buy a file folder for myself. We had a pretty good time, and I think presentation and creativity definitely carried the menu this time around. So I'm gonna give Freeren Cafe a strong 4 out of 5.
Yep.
If the desserts were a little better, it'd be an easy 5 out of 5. Because everything else was perfect.
Yeah, so see, like,
Number 2, Alien Stage at Animate Cafe.
I don't
I've
know
been a
Alien
longtime
Stage.
fan of Vivino since the days of her one-off horror animations, but admittedly, I'm less familiar with the lore of her Alien Stage series. Lucky for me, though, I have friends who are super into it. Like a lot of the cafes at the Animate locations, the entry for this cafe was under a lottery system, and we luckily got accepted for a table for 4. And Sam, being the professional fangirl that she is, brought a ton of Alien Stage
God.
merch to decorate our table with. Our table was decked out. Sam had even made some Mizisuwa nails for the special occasion beforehand.
Nice.
So the one thing on the menu I was really interested in was this thing. This is the Unocked Garden Plate, which is supposed to look like the cafeteria slop that the Alien Stage characters would have eaten during their time at the kindergarten where they were
What?
trained and experimented on. Yes, the classic gross meal that's meant to look gross because it's canonically gross. I was no stranger to this concept. And while I would like to give it extra points for its commitment to the bit,
It looks so
1600
gross.
yen is kind of crazy.
That
And
looks
I
so
thought,
gross.
hey, what if the mystery gravy is actually like really good? Well, spoilers, it tasted exactly like how it looked. It was a pile of rice with chicken breast white sauce, green pea paste, tomato sauce, and a small side of orange jelly. Honestly, it felt like we were eating baby food.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It was rice with sauce. There's not much else to it. The
That's
second
so
item on the
gross.
food menu was a classic ketchup omurice with some veggies and a small panda mochi on the side. And the design you got on your omurice was completely random. We ended up getting Suwa, Miji, and Till's omurice designs, and I drew over mine with the ketchup bottle they provided with our meals. The omurice was super cute, but we all agreed that they tasted just okay, like slightly worse than regular
Yeah,
cafe
that makes
omurice.
sense.
We ordered 3 different desserts,
Yeah,
and
they
the
could have
best
made it
dessert
good.
out of the 3 by far was the Till and Yvonne sweet and bitter dessert plate, which came with coffee jelly and chocolate sauce with whipped cream and a mini chocolate cake with some mixed berries on the side. The coffee jelly tasted good, but the highlight was the super rich chocolate cake, which was super gooey on the inside. We also
like a
ordered
lava
the
cake.
Miji and Suwa yogurt strawberry parfait, which was topped with shiratama dango, mixed berries, and a heart-shaped cookie. This parfait was super cute, and I especially liked the bottom yogurt layer, but the strawberry ice cream tasted just a little too artificial for my liking. And unfortunately, the worst dessert out of the 3 was the Hyuna and Luca Misty Caramel Orange Crepe. It was a
Aw.
really cute detail to have him trapped in a smoky jar to slowly emerge, but the crepes were sadly very bland and very tasteless. For my drink, I ordered the Miji Pink Lychee drink, which tasted good, but also had a tasteless
Yeah.
jiggly ball of...
So we've watched several of Emirichu's videos about this, and there are some that the food is better, but it's usually the more established ones. So the ones that are gonna stay around for a while, versus like these that are just like pop-up collabs that like will go away eventually. So like the Sanrio cafes, the Kirby Cafe, and the like. But there's been a couple that she really liked. I think there's like a company, there's one of the locations that does the collab cafes that she likes their collab food. So, yeah.
warabi mochi at the bottom, which was fine. I just don't really know what it was doing there.
It's just
My
like a
friends
glob
ordered some of the
mochi.
other drinks, like the Suwa Blue Ramune drink, the Yvonne Berry Jelly Cola, and the Luca Ginger Butterfly PT. None of which I actually tried, but their reactions ranged from neutral to not really liking it. And for
It's
each menu
okay.
item, we received a random coaster. So while we were eating and taking pictures, there was a girl walking around the cafe looking for other customers to trade coasters with. And we initially declined when she approached us because none of us were actually interested in trading our coasters. But then Sam looked at her Ida bag and saw that she was a really big fan of Hyuna and Luca. So she walked over to the girls' table and handed her a whole bunch of the Hyuna and Luca merch that she'd brought from home. Some of which included some Singapore and Korea exclusive merch items. Sam came back to the table, found some more Hyuna and Luca merch in her bag, and then hurried over and dropped off even more stuff to the already shocked
that's
and
so
bewildered
sweet.
stranger. We were like, oh my god, Sam, are you really okay with parting with those goods? And she just said, this is what fandom culture is all about. You are so right. Man, this is what I love about going to stuff like this. Also, I have extras at home anyway. You're insane. There were some super cute merch items available for
clearly she
purchase,
brought
including some
stuff to
dangly
trade,
acrylic
like, that makes
keychains that
sense.
came with each character's omurice. I got myself some sticker sets from my journal and a random ticket card, and I ended up getting Hyuna. While the food here was admittedly not very good, the very wholesome stranger interaction made the visit worth it. I'm gonna give Alien Stage Cafe a 2.8 out of 5.
Almost 3. I was
Number
close.
3,
I forget that
Yu
she
Yu
does.
Hakusho at Knott's Live Cafe. This one is a bit of a throwback, so I was
God,
really
I love Yu
surprised
Yu
to see this
Hakusho.
anime get a collab cafe in
For some reason, Yu Yu Hakusho has had a resurgence, and I don't know why it's had a resurgence, but I'm here for it. It was my first fighting anime that I was really into, so yeah.
2025. So for this visit, I took Didus on a nostalgia trip since he's a fan of the anime.
That's right.
We ended up being the only ones in the cafe, which was a surprise to me because the food looked and tasted really good. The first dish we ordered was the Spirit Sword Chicken Saute, which was a grilled chicken cut in half and served with a sword-shaped pie crust, representing Kuwabara's sword.
Heck yeah.
The red streak on top of the chicken was a tomato demi-glace sauce.
Oh, that sounds
This
good,
dish
honestly.
was delicious.
Yeah.
Aside from how impressive it was that the puff pastry was perfectly in the shape of a spirit sword, it was also deliciously flaky and buttery.
Yay!
The second dish we tried was the Rose Thorn Whip Blade Naan Curry, which was a coconut milk-based
I
chicken
can see that
curry
being good.
with Brussels sprouts and asparagus and colored pink with
never
beet
mind.
powder.
Never mind.
For the rose whip imagery, the curry had a drizzle of spinach sauce and a beet cookie in the shape of
I
a
do
rose.
not like asparagus.
The curry was a little thin, but it tasted deliciously savory, and the naan that came with it was nice and fluffy. And to match the presentation of the curry, I also ordered Karama's Rose Darjeeling Tea, which was a drink made with Darjeeling tea and rose syrup, topped with rose-flavored berry cream.
Ooh,
For his drink,
that sounds
Didus ordered
good.
a kiwi syrup soda, which was made to look like the color of Yukina's hair.
Yeah.
And both of these drinks tasted really good.
Nice.
The item that I was most excited about was the Spirit Gun Mousse Cake, which was a peach and passion fruit flavored mousse cake decorated with lemon glaze and a hand-shaped sugar cookie. And this was, of course, made to look like Yusuke's Spirit Gun.
Yeah, of
This
course.
dessert looked so freaking cute, and I loved the staticky spark effect that was done with the lemon glaze. The mousse and fruit filling was deliciously tart and not too sweet.
Nice.
And this dish was my absolute favorite out of all the ones we tried.
See?
Our second dessert item was inspired by the Dragon of the Darkness Flame Attack, and it was a dark chocolate brownie with orange flavoring, cut into the shape of a dragon and decorated with black currant sauce.
Yeah.
This brownie was surprisingly dense, like difficult to cut into with a knife and fork dense. So I wasn't really a fan, but Didus loves all brownies and especially dense ones, so he thoroughly enjoyed most of it on his own. Unfortunately, no coasters, but we did receive a free sticker for each food item we ordered and a card for each drink.
I love that. Okay, so I've seen this with other collab merch, and for whatever reason, they usually will have, like, Karama and Yusuke and Hiei all kind of in, like, the matching-esque suits and stuff, but they always make Kuwabara have some, like, and I don't mean tacky in, like, a bad way, but they give him, like, a tacky outfit, and it seems fitting for him. But, like, the snowflake shirt is just such a funny, like, touch. But I like the khaki on him better than I would have liked the black suit, too, so I feel like that works.
The merch section didn't have a whole lot going on, just the usual acrylic stands, badges, and coasters.
I would have to get that acrylic stand.
The presentation and taste of this cafe was really creative and impressive, and it got Didus' seal of approval, so I'm gonna give Yu Yu Hakusho
I guess they gave Yusuke a
very
green
strong
outfit.
4.6 out of 5.
Why is it
Number
4.3
4,
on there?
Cardcaptor Sakura. I just came to the realization that every Cardcaptor Sakura collab I've gone to so far has been afternoon tea time themed.
Yep.
So let's go to another one.
Yeah!
This collab was at Atari Cafe and Dining, which was the same place that did the Dungeon Meshi collab I went to a while back. So I had high hopes for this.
Yeah.
I went with Sam.
So this is one of the locations that she's talked about liking before, so I wish I had the kind of money to throw in stuff like this and the space to put that stuff. Yeah. Trust me, I don't have the space, but I still have little knickknacks and collections for whenever we get a house so I can put up shelves and put everything out.
Sam, who came prepared with framed photo cards to take pictures with. She just had these on the ready. Honestly, I'm not sure why I still get surprised anymore.
Yep.
With that reservation, we received some paper
Hey,
tea
Ice
party
Mage.
invitation tickets featuring the promo art. So
The
we
promo
decided to
art's really
share
pretty.
the Sakura and Tomoyo's Always Together Royal Afternoon Tea Set, which
Nice.
was a 2-person tea set that came with an assortment of sweets for the 2 tiers, some savory items at the bottom, and 2 tea flavors of your choosing. The tea set also came with a Karo stirring stick that you could take home with you. I don't remember what exactly was in this afternoon tea set, but everything tasted fine. It wasn't really a super memorable tasting experience, if I'm being honest, but it was cute. The best tasting thing we got was Sakura and Akiho's homemade croquettes and beef stew plate, which came with a side salad and a few slices of bread. For an extra dessert, Sam and I shared Sakura's Key to Dreams parfait, which was inspired by Sakura's clear card dress. It was filled with cream cheese flavored ice cream and sweet custard cream with star-shaped milk pudding. And for an extra drink, Sam ordered Tomoyo's blueberry yogurt drink, which was topped with crunchy granola.
Nice.
Both of these tasted good, but I think Tomoyo's blueberry yogurt drink was the better one out of the two. For the merch, Sam purchased 2 of the blind bag acrylic stands, blind bag stickers, and we both decided to get a Karo glass.
Yeah,
my team of Cardcaptor Sakura glass cups continued to grow with each cafe visit.
Yeah.
This cafe was really cute and tasted pretty good for the most part, aside from the pastry stand not being the most memorable. Nothing really blew me away, but that's kind of hard to do when the previous Sakura collab set the bar so high.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
This Cardcaptor Sakura cafe gets a 4 out of 5. Number 5, Jujutsu Kaisen at Vod's Cafe in Space in Ikebukuro. The Shibuya incident arc finished airing over 2 years ago, and somehow there's still new cafes popping up related to it. But it's a super popular anime, so I decided to give it a visit with my friend Manu. With our reservation, we each received a file folder of a random character. I ended up getting Nobara, and Manu got Megumi. We also received 2 random coasters. Manu got Gojo, and I got Yuji. The first dish we ordered was the Black Flash Ramen, which was a chicken soup ramen with black fried onions and spicy red dandan sauce to represent Yuji's Black Flash. We also ordered Nanami's Seafood Gathering tomato stew pasta, which was a plate inspired by the 7 seas within the Dagon realm. And to share, we also ordered Nobara's Resonance Tortilla, which was a pastrami beef and ham tortilla garnished with pickled carrots shaped like rose petals. And for my drink, I got Yuji's mango drink, which was a very simple mango-flavored soda. Everything tasted really good. I was very pleasantly surprised by how good the seafood tomato stew pasta was, considering my track record with pasta-related dishes at these sort of cafes. But it was actually really nice. However, Manu and I both agreed that the best item that we ordered was Nanami's necktie motif chiffon cake, which, as the name implies, was a dessert made to resemble Nanami's necktie. It was a caramel-flavored chiffon cake with caramelized bananas, vanilla ice cream, and some cookie crumbles. This cake was fluffy, the sauce wasn't too sweet, and
I think a lot of the collab cafes will let you just buy the merch. Like, you don't have to eat there to buy the merch, but you can, you know, get free coasters and stuff if you eat there. I still want to taste
Cookie Bits added a really nice crunch to everything. The merch corner had all the usual acrylic goods and badges, and I ended up buying a sticker set of the super adorable chibi art to put in my journal. Jujutsu Kaisen Cafe was super tasty, and our time there was pretty short because we ate everything so quickly. I asked Manu what he would rate this out of 5, and he said 4.5. So I'm going to be generous and bump it up to 4.6 out of 5. Number 6, Apothecary Diaries. For this cafe, we are back in the same venue that did the Cardcaptor Sakura collab. And for this collab, the theme was aromas and spices to stimulate your 5 senses. I wanted to try the whole menu, so I went with a group of 4 gals. Yay! With our reservation, we each received a random file folder, and I got really lucky and got Mau Mau. For our drinks, we ordered a pot of jasmine tea and a pot of carnation tea, and both came with a little sugar cookie with a random character printed on the front. They just both happened to be Jinchi. Sam ordered Gaoshen's Black Sesame Latte, which came with a small sachet of cinnamon, and I ordered Jinshi's Blueberry Soda, which came with a small sachet of chamomile. One of the things from the menu we were really excited to share was Mau Mau's medicinal and mixed food course, which had a little bit of everything from the menu.
Ooh,
the course started with a cup of Chinese soup with seaweed, carrots, and wood ear mushrooms, a small plate of pickled veggies, and a small plate of simmered vegetables.
Of the photos
Next part of the course was rice porridge with anchovies and salted seaweed, and a meat of our choosing, which was braised pork belly. And to finish off the course, a pot of yuzu tea with ginger, and a small soy milk dessert bowl with taro, mango, red and green beans, mini daifuku, peanuts, and pistachios. It also came with a paper menu with the course details that you could take home with you. We thought everything tasted pretty good, but for 6,000 yen, you could probably find much better and cheaper Chinese food elsewhere. But this was an Apothecary Diaries branded course meal, so, you know, it was typical Collab Cafe pricing. In addition to the course meal, we also ordered the porridge and dim sum set to share, which came with some pickled veggies and a side of Sichuan pepper flakes. And for our final savory item, we ordered the meat, fish, and vegetable plate filled with wild vegetables picked by Mao Mao, which was a plate with rice balls, white fish, braised pork belly, and vegetables that Mao Mao collected and prepared while out foraging for medicinal herbs. All of the savory dishes came with a manual spice grinder that you could use to grind some of the spices on your own, just like Mao Mao.
Cool.
And
I
for
like
dessert,
that.
we shared the Sweet Moments Aphrodisiac chocolate plate, which also came with Japanese pepper and clove. None of which we actually used with the chocolate, since we preferred eating the sweets on their own. And the chocolate nuts in the center were, of course, a reference to the aphrodisiac chocolates Mao Mao made in the anime. Since we ordered so much, we ended up with a lot of coasters that we split between ourselves. And the material of the coasters were really nice and sturdy. Some of the best I'd ever seen from coaster freebies. We were really impressed and amused at how immersive and surprisingly healthy tasting the menu was. And we loved the added touch of having each dish and drink come with its own optional spices, personally handpicked by Mao Mao herself. And while none of us got anything from the small selection of merch, by far the most interesting piece of merchandise was the little soy sauce dish that had the words, "This is poison," engraved at the bottom. For the most part,
Oh, I would have had to
everything
have
was pretty
gotten
good.
that. I'm sorry.
Maybe not as good as food from an actual Chinese restaurant, but still very impressive by Collab Cafe
This is
standards.
poison.
I'm gonna give Apothecary Diaries Cafe a 4.8 out of 5.
I like the
Number
art that they
7,
made for
Shugo
that one,
Kyara
too.
at Box Cafe in Space.
No
We
idea
are
about
back
this.
with yet another anime throwback.
This
I
is one
watched
I do
Shugo
not
Kyara
know.
back when I was in middle school, and I get nostalgia whiplash every time I see it out in the wild. So for this cafe, I dragged my friend Christine, who's also super nostalgic for the show. And apparently no one else was feeling nostalgic that day because we were
delicious
somehow the
poison.
only
Yeah,
ones in the
exactly.
cafe. The tables were decorated to look like playing cards, which I thought was super cute. With our reservation, we received 2 random paper card freebies, and we got super lucky and got both Amu and Utao. For our drinks, we ordered Utao's grape soda and Ikto's blue ramune soda. These were pretty straightforward. I ordered Utao's ramen, which came in a small bowl with some side salad and topped with chashu pork and red cabbage. Christine ordered the Amu omelet rice, which also came with a side salad and had a little radish cut in the shape of Amu's hair clip. Utao's ramen was actually really good. Small portion size, but the noodles were nice and firm and the broth was hearty and tasty. I didn't record much footage of Christine's omurice, but she seemed to like it just fine. Our set lunches came with a mini dessert of our choice, so I ordered the Ran, Mickey, Sue, and Daya mini parfait, which was an ice cream parfait with a layer of cream on top of some jelly. Christine got the Idu and Edu mini parfait, which had 2 scoops of fruit sorbet over a layer of cream and granola. These were
That one would probably be
fine.
the one I would
We
get.
felt pretty neutral about the mini parfaits. The one big dessert we shared was the Heart's Egg Mousse Cake, which is meant to resemble the heart egg from the anime. This was a milk-flavored mousse cake on top of a thin layer of custard cream and cake. The cake was a little dry, and the mousse egg didn't really taste like much of anything. It just kind of tasted like diluted milk. Out of everything, this was our least favorite dessert. The merch section had a very small selection of goods, and it was sort of just the same promo art on everything. To be totally honest, this cafe was pretty forgettable. I liked my Utao
that's too
dish,
bad.
but Christine and I felt neutral about pretty much the rest of the menu. And while that would be enough for me to not include this in the video lineup, for the sake of nostalgia, we were still happy this even existed.
Yep.
I don't know, 2.8 out of 5? Number 8, Hasbin Hotel at Animate Cafe. This was, by far, the most highly requested collab out of all the ones on this list. In my YouTube comments, in my Instagram DMs, Emily, there's a Hasbin Hotel Cafe. Emily, please go to the Hasbin Hotel Cafe. Please, Emily, we need to know if it was good or not. Joke's on you, I already had plans to go before I was even asked. The entry for this cafe was through a very competitive
Sorry, I have no interest in Hasbin Hotel, so I do not want to watch. Has-been hotel stuff. Okay.
Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I wish I could eat the food from a Studio Ghibli film. They always look so good. Well, what if I told you that you can? At Corn Barley in Kichijoji, you can reserve a full course meal of dishes straight out of Ghibli films. I had to give this place a try, especially since it's a permanent restaurant, so I dragged Didas with me. First things first, extra points for atmosphere. Every nook and cranny of this establishment was filled with Ghibli memorabilia, and the dining space was super cozy. There was even a record player at the bar playing Ghibli music the entire time, and if you wanted to, you could request a specific movie soundtrack. Because if it was a Ghibli film, they had a vinyl for it.
What?
So
That's
during
so
our
cool.
meal, I requested Princess Mononoke.
I mean, that makes sense.
The course meal we reserved came with 7 different Ghibli-inspired dishes, starting with the Musashino Forest Salad, which was a simple salad with broccoli and citrus dressing inspired by the forest in My Neighbor Totoro.
No broccoli.
This was pretty good. Not a whole lot to say. It's a salad. The second dish was the magic bacon and eggs, inspired by the iconic cooking scene from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes.
And this was made with bacon from Hokkaido, eggs from Mitaka, and garnished with bread from a local Mitaka bakery.
Ooh.
Also, forgot to mention, with every part of this course, the server swapped out the table decorations to match the movie the dish was inspired by, which I thought was such a cute addition to the whole experience. The server recommended we butter the toast and then put egg on top, just like how they ate it in the movie. This meal was just as delicious as we'd imagined. I mean, you can't really go wrong with thick bacon and fried eggs.
Yep.
The third dish we got was the baked pie shaped like a fish from Kiki's delivery service. The server explained that while the original pie in the movie is herring and pumpkin, they wanted the taste to appeal to the average customer. So the filling is instead chicken and pumpkin. And with our meal, he gave us some
Mr.
Kiki
Husband could
headbands
actually
to
have
wear.
that one.
This pie was really good. The pastry puff crust was flaky and buttery, and the filling inside was...
I know those are olives, but I'd pick those suckers off, go over to Mr. Husband, and eat it. Need that calcium
hearty and
stat,
perfect for autumn. This was probably my personal favorite dish in the course.
It's so cute, too.
The fourth dish was the mysterious spirit food from Spirited Away that Chihiro's parents ate at the beginning of the movie.
The lucky pouches.
But our server assured us that this meal would not turn us into pigs.
Nice.
They
Thank you.
somehow recreated the jiggly texture of the thing that Chihiro's dad scarfed down in the movie. And for this, they used a gelatinous dough used for Taiwanese dumplings, and it had a delicious meat filling in the center.
That's so cool.
The dish also came with kamaboko fish cake that was simmered in dashi and a stuffed tofu skin money bag. This part of the course was one of Didas's favorites. The next thing we tried was the Sky Pirate roast pork, which was the very same roast pork Dola bites into in the movie Castle in the Sky. This was made with the Yonezawa pork from Yamagata Prefecture and was served to us with a knife stuck in the middle, just like how Dola likes to eat it. It also came with an optional side of desert salt and other sauces.
I have texture issues with some foods, but it's mostly mush
It might not look like a huge portion size on camera, but after everything else we had just eaten, the meatiness and hardiness of this dish was kind of a struggle for me to get through, as delicious as it was. And it was delicious. The next dish was the special ham ramen inspired by the iconic ramen scene from Ponyo. And this was made with boneless ham from Hokkaido and carefully selected noodles from a 100-year-old noodle shop. They give you the option of eating a small, regular, or large portion. And since I was already at my limit after the pork, I ordered the small. The ramen was served to us in the very same bowls as the ones from the movie, and I thought this was a picture-perfect recreation. It was also delicious. The noodles were nice and firm, and the broth was both really flavorful, but not too heavy in the slightest. This was my second favorite dish after the chicken and pumpkin pie. The very last dish was dessert with a drink of our choice, so I ordered the strawberry and pistachio tea. And dessert was lemon sorbet with dark chocolate truffles rolled in chocolate sprinkles to resemble the suit sprites from My Neighbor Totoro. The chocolate truffles were very rich and dense, so if you're into that, this is a perfect course ender. I unfortunately am not a fan of super rich chocolate, but I really liked the lemon sorbet. I noticed there were some other drinks available to order from the menu, and I was really intrigued by the Witch's Secret Potion, which was a smoky magical drink with a butterfly PT base that changed color when our server added a mysterious citrusy liquid to the concoction. This wasn't part of the course, I just added it on as an extra because I really wanted to try it.
It looks really cool.
This was an absolutely fantastic experience, and I Forgot to mention, when we sat down for our course, we ended up next to a couple that happened to recognize us. So we got to experience this 2.5-hour dining experience together. If you're in the Mitaka area for the Ghibli Museum, I definitely recommend making space in your itinerary for a dinner reservation at this restaurant to complete the entire immersive Ghibli experience, especially since they're so close to each other. I asked Didus what he'd rate this since he's much more critical of anime cafes than I am, and he said it was an easy 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And I am inclined to agree. Full marks. Would absolutely go again. This is going to be my new go-to spot for...
But see, this makes sense because it's near the museum, because, like, yeah. Yep.
any Ghibli fan friends that come visit.
Yeah.
Number 10, Sea Dog VA and Iron Mouse at Honey Toast Cafe.
Nice.
Recently, Connor and Mouse announced their very own pop-up collaboration cafe, and as of posting this video, it's still available to reserve from now until November 30th. Those of you who've seen my other cafe videos know that Connor has experienced both the very highs and very lows of collaboration menus. So I was really excited to see what he and Mouse had come up with for this one.
Nice.
I wanted to get a taste of literally everything, so I booked a table for 4 for the very first day of the event.
Aw, nice.
The inside of the cafe was adorably decorated
Look
with
at
the
the
cafe
beebles.
promo art and standees of Mouse and
boobies.
Connor,
That's
and
boobies.
some of Mouse's music videos playing in the background.
Nice.
Ordering was done through a tablet where you could just click on the pictures of the items that you wanted to order. Starting with the drinks, the Demoness Latte was my personal favorite.
That looks
It's
good.
an iced coffee with strawberry milk, chocolate whipped cream with raspberry sauce, and some wafer bat wings stuck onto the top. The next drink was Devil Plasma, which was probiotic water with blueberry syrup, grapefruit jelly, blueberries, and a cute little wafer boobie on the straw.
Yeah.
This was tart and fruity and a crowd favorite for our group. The third drink was Chalky Milk, which was a reference to Mouse's nutrition milk. And this was strawberry milk with cocoa, chocolate ice cream, chocolate sauce, and white chocolate on top. This drink tasted extra nostalgic for me since it's basically just chocolate milk, and I really enjoyed it, as simple as it was. Next, we ordered the Monkey Mix, which was milk with banana syrup and mango juice, and topped with whipped cream and a mini rose to resemble Connor's YouTube profile picture.
That makes sense.
This was my least favorite drink on the menu because it kind of just tasted like milk with a slight hint of mango. And the last drink was Gamer Brew, which was just iced coffee with chocolate sauce and coffee powder on the rim. It wasn't bad, but if you're looking for something with a more interesting flavor profile, maybe don't go for this one.
Yeah.
It's literally just iced coffee. The first dessert we ordered was the Monkey Split, which was a sliced banana with whipped cream, banana ice cream, chocolate sauce, and a little monkey Connor sitting on top. This dessert was super cute and simple, but tasty. Our whole group really liked it. The next dessert we shared was the Honey Toast, which is the cafe's signature dish. This was a big honey toast filled with whipped cream, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry, scoops of strawberry and banana ice cream, and blueberry condensed milk. This thing was big and toasted to crunchy perfection. When we opened more of it up, we discovered it was like a hollowed out brick toast filled with mini toasts drizzled with honey. And it tasted delicious combined with the whipped cream and berries. This was easily our favorite dessert from the menu.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the third and last dessert was Demon's Jelly, which had coffee jelly, strawberry condensed milk, whipped cream, strawberry ice cream, fruit, marshmallow bits, and chocolate.
Nice.
This was our least favorite dessert. And for me, it's mostly because the flavors felt a little redundant considering there were already drinks with coffee and strawberry milk. And the artificial strawberry flavors sort of took over the entire parfait.
Gotcha.
For the savory dishes, we ordered the Monkey Jungle, which was a British Sunday roast-inspired dish with beef and gravy sauce, saffron rice, potatoes, and veggies.
Hey, that looks
Mouse's
good,
dish was a
honestly.
Demon Queen's Feast, which was a classic cafe omurice with broccoli, carrots, and cream sauce dyed pink with beetroot. Between the two of these, we really liked the pink omurice.
Really?
The pink color of the beetroot is a little scary at first,
Yeah.
but this omurice actually tasted way better than a lot of the other omurice dishes I've had at other collab cafes. The Monkey Jungle dish was, unfortunately, the least tasty item on the menu for us. If you're a big roast beef fan, you might take more of a liking to it than we did, but if you're torn deciding between which of the two to order, my vote goes to Mouse's omurice. Sorry, Connor. We received a random coaster for every menu item we ordered, so we ended up with an adorable pile of 10 coasters.
Nice.
And at checkout, we noticed that you could also take home a 4-piece set of sugar cookies, which had these super cute chibi designs printed on them. And before finally exiting, We also received a special cafe Polaroid card freebie for each person. This was a very fun experience, and I'm super proud of both Connor and Mouse for how cute this collab cafe turned out. I was honestly really impressed with how much of their personal touch and creativity was put into this menu. With that being said, I do also want to judge the cafe as fairly as I can. So after taking everything into consideration and discussing with my fellow attendees, we've decided to give the Sea Dog VA and Iron Mouse Collab Cafe a 4 out of 5. What's this? This was, in fact, the best collab cafe I have ever been to, so it is actually a 5 out of 5, and you should totally go if you're in Tokyo. Also, Connor is super awesome and cool and the best. Make sure you read that last part. Oh, okay.
I like the last bit there. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good to have Connor tie that in there. Oh my god. Oh, that was so good. I like that one. Yes, yes.